Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So we just started this event, the Legendary Summer Party, and what I wanted to do in this episode is talk about the decks that we discussed in the previous episode and put them into practice and see how we can see how they fare against the bosses. Now I did get the Head Start pack, so I got the 50 free levels plus another 50 levels for 500 gems, so I'm at level 100. So this is a good test for us to see how much damage we can deal and how successful we could be. And before we do that though, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about, and the first one is if you look at the collection here. So we've already talked about the summoner runes, but what we didn't know is, well, where are we going to get them and how many can we actually get? And so you can see that one of them is here. So if you have a 6-star Summertime Aphrodite plus some catalysts, you'll be able to actually get one rune. I believe you'll get one. And so where would you be able to get the rest? And that's what we're going to talk about. And also, it looks like now there's no way for you to get a feature hero. But that's not true because it is available. It's just been moved to a different location. This was actually announced in the newsfeed, but it just wasn't as clear. So I wanted to make sure that I call it out. And to do that, we're going to look into the Beach Collection. And so the Beach Collection, this is similar now. This is sort of the meta for all of the commander events that we've been seeing where, as you go up in levels, you're going to collect, various items, tokens. In this case, it's beach balls. And then you'll be able to collect items and rewards along the way. And so you can see here, you can actually collect master rune crates relatively quickly. And then sort of all along, you'll be able to create. So I've already gotten 2 of them so far. And you can see here right at the 5.1 thousand mark is where you'll be able to get the 5-star beach hero crate. So this is the same thing as the 5-star collection that we would normally get in events. It's just now moved to this, and you can see that there's no requirement of a 6-star hero plus 2 different types of catalysts plus a trophy count. In this case, you just need to get 5.1 thousand beach balls, and that actually works out to the same as if you went and defeated level boss from level 1 through 101. So because once you do, if you go from 1 to 100, that comes out to 5,050. So just going one more level, you can also have a combination of another boss, but the easiest one is you just take one boss, go all the way to level 101, defeat that, you'll be able to get the crate. So it's not difficult. It's not as difficult to get the 5-star hero. So I hope that you get the event card. And if you kind of go all the way down to the bottom here, you can also see that you can get up to 3 items for enchanting your relic. But a total in here, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in here, you can actually collect up to 7 runes plus the 1 that is in the collections. You can get up to 8 runes for a chance to get 6 unique, runes to get the Master Collection. Now, chances are that you might get duplicates. And so hopefully you don't, but if you do get duplicates and you don't end up getting any this time around, remember you can always smelt them for the next event as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the teams now. So there's a couple of teams I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to show all of them, but I am going to talk about them. So because I think some are better than the others. So in this case, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use a gem spawner with a gem destroyer here. And so I'm using a Skuka and Quack as the destroyer, and I have also Summertime Aphrodite. I could replace Quack with Summertime Aphrodite. You can see my next in my next deck here, and this works okay. It's just that the problem is Skuka only powers honor heroes and doesn't actually boost the Aphrodite cards. So it's a little bit of a trade-off here. I wish I could, and so that's why it performs a little worse compared to this other deck where I'm using Freya as a leader. Now, she's not a commander card, so we lose out on the overall commander bonus, but all of the bosses will get boosted in this case. And so I think because they're all gods, I can also put in sort of all the same relics here to sort of give a boost to all of them. And so we're going to actually use this deck right now, and we're going to go up against Rouge Corvid. And the reason why I think it's better to go against Corvid is because his battle skill or his defense skill is Toxin, which doesn't actually impact you unless you have a healer in your group, which we don't. So let's go ahead and do a fight right here. And let's talk about how we can use this type of team. And so Freya is intensity dependent, whereas Summertime Aphrodite isn't. But what she does need is you want to try to actually do 3 matches of the water gems with her, so that you can maximize her gem spawning ability. So after 3 matches, she's going to actually create Power Gem 2s on the board. And as long as there's a Power Gem 2 on the board, she's actually going to create 3 Power Gem 1s with her battle skill. And so really that's how you can maximize sort of, you know, the damage output by having more of these Power Gems on board. And so what we're going to do is, at the same time, I want to try to increase the intensity here, which I have. And then remember, the order is make sure that you use Aphrodite first, and then use Freya, because you want to make sure that you don't, you want to make sure that you use up as much space as possible on the board by putting down the power gems first, and then surround them with regular gems. And so let's see how much damage we were able to deal with that team. And so 382, 63. So we're able to deal a little over 400 million, almost 5 million with 1 key here. So that's not bad, given that we don't have 2 of the slots that can have a, 10 times commander bonus. And so now the reason why I say Rouge Corvette is better than Juggernaut for that particular team is because Juggernaut has Might as its skill. Now with Might, every attack that he deals, it's going to increase in damage. So with 1 key, you're not going to survive very long, at most 2 hits. And so in that case, Wendy is a really good card. Not only does she actually give you a revive, you also get the counter skill for Might. So she counters Might, and she has revive. And so it's a pretty good card to have for this particular boss. And so what I'm trying to do here is Takumi and Quack are also cards that are available in the collection. And so I'm trying to see if this particular deck would work out. And so Takumi, if you remember from last time, will actually boost all water attacker heroes. Unfortunately, Aphrodite isn't a attacker card, so these 2 aren't going to get boosted here. And also what I want to do is I want to take advantage of the revive, and so I'm putting in more of the honor relics to give Wendy her intensity requirement to give me more health when we do revive. So let's see how this team will do up against Juggernaut. Now without a gem spawner, this is going to be a little bit of a different play style. What you want to do is you want to actually put all of your power gems close together, as close as you can. And now a similar strategy here, we do want to make sure that we don't match up all of our gems in the very beginning to give us the chance to actually match more water gems, so that we can actually do get more power gems available. And it looks like I'm hoping that I don't actually lose all my health here, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to actually even survive enough this time around. So we're going to try one more time because I actually didn't dispel it, and I also did not match enough water gems. So there is a risk here, and I think I also used the wrong team here. So let's not make that mistake. And let's not waste too many keys here. So let's go back and make sure we're on the right team. And now let's go in and let's make sure that we get let's get an attack in. So now with much lower health, because this has mostly attackers and I don't have everybody boosted. So this is something to watch out for. So let's see here. All right. So there's a counter, and you can see just how much damage it actually dealt. And so what I want to do is perhaps just go ahead and create another power gem here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use, actually I can survive 1 time. And so let's see if we can get another match. Okay, so we do get another match there. And now at this point, I'm going to die and revive. And then I'm going to use Aphrodite and just basically attack everybody. And let's see how much damage we can deal with this setup here. Probably not as much as I would have liked because I didn't do a very good job with the matches there. But I'm still able to get over maybe, let's see, at probably around 160. So this particular setup with one key didn't do as well, only 160 or so. And so that's okay. I mean, we're sort of trying them out. We're using ideas, trying to see how things go. Another one is using a delayer. Now, this one is going to be using Saffron because I want to make sure that I show a deck that uses each of these cards here. Ideally, if you have a second Saffron, it'll be better. So then you have two cards that can actually do delay, and then you can only get, so you basically get hit only once every 3 turns. If you can sort of get that going, then you'll actually have a much easier time to defeat it. Another option, instead of a Skuka here, you can also potentially bring in the Stag, which is the 3-star turn delayer that I've showcased quite a bit. It's just I don't have enough relics to power him up on turn 1, so it's going to be a little harder to use. So let's take a look here and let's try this now against Rouge Corvid. We're also starting to get up there in the health here, but I think we should be okay. As long as we can continue to deal a few hundred million damage, we can probably go up to 150 or level 160 with no problems. All right, so now with this one, it's really just, do a match, use Saffron to get your turn delay in, and then continue to get as many matches as you can. Keep in mind, though, that Aphrodite actually isn't dependent on intensity, and so you don't have to wait for that. Now, here's the issue that I forgot to mention. We'll talk about this right after this. If you can take a look here, the counterattack Aegis is actually something that I was surprised by, and I have forgotten about that. So basically, it looks like when you do a turn delay, the boss would actually do a counterattack. And so what you noticed there was I did a turn delay and I actually got hit. And so I lost a little bit of health there. And so it actually, is something that I just remember that we did give feedback on. So it makes Saffron a less desirable card to play. So I guess it's good that we're showing here, because then you need to keep that in mind. If you're using a turn delayer, you're going to end up getting hit every time you activate it. And so that's something to stay away from. And so one last budget deck I'm going to show, and then I'm going to also then talk about the full deck itself. So this one is Quack version 2. This was one of my favorite type of setups with Icarus and Quack together, and I used to pair them up with Princess Queen because they each would create a power gem, 3 by themselves. And so in this case, instead, what I'm putting in is Summertime Aphrodite, who will create a lot more power gems with her passive and also active skills. So let's see how much damage we can do there. This used to be my go-to team for all of my commander events. So let's see how we can do with this particular team now. So let's see. So the idea here is, you create a bunch of power gems, and then you activate Icarus to increase the total sort of the drop rate of the blue gems. And then once you do that, then you use Quack, then you'll actually just end up with a board full of water gems for just, a lot more damage. And so let's see here. I'm just gonna stick with that because I don't want to lose my power gem there. Okay, and I think that I'm not gonna be able to survive the 3rd hit. So I don't have enough health. That's the main issue here. So let's go ahead and see what this will be like. Okay, so you can see how much more water gems I'm getting dropped here, and this is one of the reasons why this combo is really great. So you can see I didn't get the maximum number of power gems that I can get there, but still this is allowing me to deal quite a bit of damage there for one key. So over 200 million. Okay, and that was after 2 hits. So if I could have survived one more hit, I could have actually then dealt even more damage. So getting higher health is going to be key here. And so awakening your Summertime Aphrodite or getting more levels into it is going to help. All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is the full team here. I don't have the actual full team here, but I do have the one from the previous light event, which is the same thing. I've actually had some questions and debates with my guildmates about what is the optimal setup here, whether you should have 2 ultra rare type cards or 3. Now, in this particular event, you only have one that can actually, you only have the ultra rare that would actually do this, but she actually will create power gem 3s, and so it actually works pretty well there. I personally think that if you are able to get up to 3 ultra rare cards and then put 2 support cards in there, you're going to you're going to have the optimal damage overall. And so let's go ahead and do a fight here just to sort of show you how this works. It's just that with 3 ultra rare, I think overall you get more power gem 3s, and I think if depending on how things go, you might actually have more damage or more power gems total as well. And so it's I think a more optimal setup. But if you get at least 2 ultra rare and then just put nothing but support cards in there, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage. You can see here, this is a neutral affinity deck now that is going up against this boss. And let's see, I don't remember where the other 3 was, so let's just do that. So with this, I can deal about 2 billion damage with 1 key. All right, and so you can imagine with affinity bonus plus additional commander bonus, you're looking at, if you're just looking at if the power stays about the same, I think it goes up to at least 7 or 8 billion per key. Right, and so it can deal a ton of damage, and with 2 ultra rare type cards, it's already a lot. And so if you're going for the full deck, I actually don't use the event card much in that particular setup. It's just that it has a different playstyle than I'm used to, and so I don't have that currently, and that's not something that I find as useful in a full deck. But I know that it's going to be good for it could be good for guild versus guild. And I know a lot of people are going for the master card collection for that purpose. But right now I'm just kind of slowly going through, and I'm waiting to collect my beach hero crate and see if I get lucky with my event card. So that is all for this episode. Hopefully this helps. I'm focused mostly on just the water cards this time as opposed to other affinities. But the goal here is to use as many of the cards that you already have access to and hopefully make a good deck out of that. Now, please let me know if you have other ideas as well. I would love to hear your thoughts and inputs. Let me know what any ideas that you have, and we can see if we can improve on some of the deck that we've already built. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.